Hello everybody, my name is Martin and this is Millionaire Autobahn. Today we're again actually talking about traveling and trading, mainly because at the time I do this video I'm still traveling and I got quite a lot of responses from all sorts of people that were asking about my latest video I made about this topic. As I mentioned in that video, many fellow YouTubers and day traders, they show how they go on these trips around the world and still do day trading. I personally think it makes no sense, and there are many reasons for it that I explained in the previous video. For some of these reasons I will dive a little bit deeper today. However, as I said in the first video, if you're a successful day trader, successful in anything, why would you take the time during your vacation, during your travels, put extra stress on yourself just to do some trades? It makes no sense. So now we dive a little bit deeper into this. Again, if you do this full time, which I also said would be important, don't do day trading part time. I personally think it will not work. So if you do this full time and you live on the East Coast of the United States, that would mean that the stock market opens at 9:30 a.m. and closes at 4 p.m. So you would say you get up at 8, you have your morning routine, at about 9 o'clock you sit down and check what stocks to trade. 9:30 market opens, you're ready for the stocks you want to trade, and you will see which ones work, right? So let's assume you're taking a trip to Las Vegas and you're then 3 hours behind the New York time. So you would have to start trading at 6:30 in the morning, right? So you would have to kind of get up at about 5 o'clock, have your morning routine. At 6 o'clock is when you get ready, and at 6:30 is when you start trading. So there's then an issue at some point where you say, well, I actually would want to have some breakfast. So you would say around 8ish, 9ish you want some breakfast. So now if you have never been to Vegas, you might not have any idea on how to actually go by that, but I can let you know, because I'm from Vegas, it is actually not as simple as you would think, because there are thousands of other people too that want to have breakfast at that time. So you go down in your hotel, you find a restaurant, it takes some time till you get seated, and you might get your breakfast, but it will take you an hour and a half, the whole process, to have breakfast. You could go by a Starbucks, which there are still, I will not say plenty, there used to be plenty, but now it's like, kind of find here and there. So you might find a Starbucks and you get a little bit something there. It's not a real breakfast, but you get your coffee, maybe a croissant or a cheese Danish or something like that, right? And you eat that and you go back to your room. So you might have lost maybe an hour of trading. So you're done with your breakfast and you come back, and maybe you can set your breakfast time more like 9 and 10 o'clock. The reason is that would be between 12 and 1 o'clock on the East Coast, where stocks tentatively usually are kind of more hanging around and not really moving much at all anyways. So that might not be that bad of a problem, or not that big of a deal. So with that said, you then still actually have a couple hours left to actually do some more trading if needed. If you have reached your goal already, you're good to go and go to the pool in one of these nice hotels on the Strip. But, so there's then the issue with this. The issue is that in Las Vegas, things are kind of happening at night. The shows start about 9 o'clock or 9:30, maybe even 10 o'clock. Restaurants are kind of more open on the later side, and everything you want to do is more in the evening, right? And so because of that, it's kind of hard to go to bed before 12 midnight. you have to think that you again have to get up like at 5:30 in the morning. That is kind of a little bit of a stretch, right? So one thing gotta lose. Either you lose going out in the evening, which is kind of the whole point of going to Vegas in the first place, or you're not trading in the morning, which, as I said in videos before, doesn't make sense because usually stocks move most in the first 30 minutes to an hour of opening. So that, yeah, doesn't work out well either. As you can see, it is not really going to work. Let's take another example. Again, you go on the West Coast, you go to, let's say, Yosemite. You want to go on a hike in the beautiful nature, and in that case, you actually have to go out earlier or early in the mornings, because those hikes and the temperature out there could be hot, and you don't want to get stuck somewhere and you don't have time to go back. So usually you would go out hiking 8, 9 in the morning, some people even earlier. So that again will not allow you to do some trading. It just doesn't work, right? So it makes no sense. Then take the other way around. Let's say you go to Thailand. So Thailand is 12 hours ahead of the US stock exchange. So it would be 9:30 p.m. when you would have to sit down and do trading. And that again makes no sense, because also in Thailand things are kind of happening more in the evening time. There's a lot of going on in the evenings time in Bangkok, in Pattaya and so on, and not during the day. It's too hot anyways during the day, so it's too hot pretty much every day. There's no season. It's always summer and more summer and rain and more rain. So nevertheless, there's no chance really to actually do trading on a schedule that makes sense. And so I want to bring home this point with this. If you really want to do day trading, professionally do day trading, as I said many times before, you have to treat it as a business. You have to treat it as a real job, and only then you know when it's time to turn off, to go on vacation, to leave trading alone, like you would leave work alone. You just do what you want to do and don't think about trading at that time. That's how it goes. And during the time I'm traveling, yes, I look at the stock market. I look at different, ticker symbols and see how they're moving. I read the news and all that. That you can still do. But doing actively trading, that is not a good thing to do. How would I say? I actually, because of this video, I actually tried over the last 2 days to actually see, is this possible? And I can tell you, it is not possible. I have the restriction anyways. I only have one laptop screen, and it is just too small. There's not too much information you can get out of it. So that is, a technical problem that you can resolve, but it's just at the end makes no sense. I just wanted to try to actually see, is my point valid or not? And I'm more convinced now that my point is valid when you travel, that trading makes absolutely no sense. So please don't fall for these people that tell you, oh yeah, you can trade from anywhere, anytime. I actually saw a video, I'm just thinking of this now, I saw a video of a guy having his laptop by the pool in Thailand. It's absolutely ludicrous. Why the hell would you take your laptop to the pool in the first place? Just assume you're in the middle of a trade and the laptop gets wet, falls in the pool, whatever. Yeah, you might be shit out of luck, right? So it makes no sense. So please don't trade while you're on vacation. Look at the stock market, get the information you wanted, but don't trade, okay? It's not going to work, and it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so I'm sorry, it's kind of, again, one of these little rant videos that I'm kind of lately doing. I don't want to discourage you with this, right? I personally think day trading is one of the most awesome things out there, because it's just you and the stock market. There's nobody else involved. There's nobody else that you have to kind of report to. There's nobody else that can mess things up in your as a colleague or as a friend or whatever. It's really just you and the market. And the nice thing is, once you're done in the evening and you're out of all your positions and you made your quota, it's your money. Nobody takes that away. So even though if the stock market crashes the next day by 40%, doesn't matter. You made your quota, you have your money there, and that's it. That's good. So I personally think it's a great thing, but don't do it on vacation. Enjoy vacation for what it is, a vacation to don't think about these things and to recharge. Maybe during the vacation you come up with new strategies, new ideas on how to trade. That actually happened to me. I wrote down a couple of strategies that I want to implement once I'm back home. So just recharge when you're out there and don't trade, okay? So again, another rant here, and I hope I will come up with some more back to school videos soon. I actually have a couple of things in store for you. I did a couple of different Pine scripts for TradingView that should help with your trading. It does for mine, and some calculation tools for the 1% rule that I'm doing. And with that said, I will see you again soon. Please like and subscribe, and as always, this is no financial advice. I'm just a YouTuber talking about my own journey in the day trading arena, and that's it for today. Alrighty, bye.